Hey, what's up guys, Shrimp here, and welcome back to a brand new video. And this is my second 2022 NFL mock draft. And of course, the draft order has completely changed, and the records are, of course, completely changed. We're not really using the projections for teams anymore. There have been, almost all of the teams have played 3 games so far, and it's about time where we're starting to see where every team is, how their quarterback's playing, in general, how their team is playing, who has progressed really well. We are really getting, the full picture, really. But, so that will help me in this mock draft to see what position that they really do need the most. That's what a mock draft is. That's what the draft is for. So after that lecture, let's get into the video. And instead of the Texans picking at number 1, it will be the Detroit Lions. And they have quarterback as their main need. Now, I wouldn't say Jared Goff actually has been completely terrible. Let me quickly pull up his stats here, because they aren't actually that bad. They actually aren't. Yeah, is this terrible? 70% completion percentage, 801 yards, 5 touchdowns to 2 picks. With a really lackluster supporting cast, you can't expect too much from Jared Goff, is all I'm saying here. But what I'm trying to arrive at, I would not take a quarterback in number 1 if I were the Detroit Lions. Instead, I would invest in myself in a position that may improve my team way more. And I think that's Kayvon Thibodeaux. He's the best player in the draft according to me. He can just do it all. He's a really good pass rusher, great run stopper. Like I said, he can really do it all. Maybe he could be better at run stopping, but other than that, he's pretty much flawless. There it is. Dude, my wish is no ring camera or ring camera noise when I record. It just knows when I start recording, because I swear that ring camera hasn't gone off once today. And then when I just start recording, it does. But anyways, Thibodeaux is just a complete package at the edge position, and I think the Lions could really use him. Number 2 is the New York Jets. Now, Zach Wilson has been absolutely horrifyingly terrible. That's an exaggeration. But he's not been very good, and I just can't give them a quarterback, because you can't just do that. First of all, we're only 3 weeks in. I cannot say whether Zach Wilson is going to be good or going to be bad. Both of those could happen, right? But I just don't think you can give up on him that early, because I knew this. Coming out of BYU, he was a one-year wonder, basically, because he only had 1 year of pure good football. That's why I didn't really like him over Justin Fields, and especially over Trevor Lawrence, who we'll be getting to in a minute there. But I just can't move on from Zach Wilson unless he really does something bad, either off the field or on. So this is going to be Derek Stingley Jr. I think their secondary is the worst part of that team, and safety's fine for the time being. Marcus May is not at all bad. Ashton Davis is not at all bad. Now, the corners, on the other hand, are a whole different story. Like Bleswan Austin, Bryce Hall, who else? I don't even know. I can't name them. And since they went really offense-heavy in the 2021 NFL draft, they sort of need to go defense-heavy in this year's draft. So Derek Stingley Jr. is the start to this team being really successful. As number 3 is the Jags. And Trevor Lawrence has been a turnover machine here. 5 touchdowns to 7 interceptions, and I think maybe 3 or 4 fumbles. He has just not been that good. But again, this is who we thought was a generational type prospect coming out, right? And I have a feeling that we may have overhyped him a bit. He was such a good player at Clemson, but not that much here in Jacksonville. And one reason for that is their offensive line. That O-line has not been protecting him, especially Cam Robinson. That left side of that O-line is really giving up a lot of sacks, and that's why I'm going to go with Evan Neal. I'm not saying he's a left tackle. He's really any position, you know? He started off, I think, at guard. Maybe right guard or something. Moved to right tackle. Alex Leatherwood is gone. Fine, I'm going to play left tackle. He can basically play every position. Maybe he can even play center. We never know. Neal is just a big player as well. 6'6", 350 pounds. You're getting a really, really good player here. And I definitely think he's top 3 worthy. Number 4 is the Houston Texans. This is an interesting one. I think they really do need a quarterback. I mean, Tyrod Taylor hasn't been bad by any means, but he just got injured again. That's the problem. Tyrod Taylor could have been a decent enough player, but he kept getting injured and letting rookie quarterbacks take over. He's done it for, what is it, 3 years? Is it 3 years in a row now? Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield, and Justin Herbert, and now Davis Mills. It's been rough for Taylor, and so I think I need to give them a quarterback, and I think that's going to be Malik Willis. I know this is really weird, but Spencer Rattler is really inconsistent. Sam Howell doesn't have those amazing offensive threats that he had in 2020. And then Matt Corral, I like the potential of him. I do think he's a first round, maybe even top 10 caliber guy with the teams like the Falcons through football team. All these teams could take a quarterback, legitimately. All these teams could take a quarterback, or at least are considering them. So Malik Willis is just the most high upside quarterback in this draft. He has running capability, passing capability. I think you could really want him, and I think that's kind of a Texans pick, Not the best, but not the worst quarterback, but a guy with high potential, high upside, and I think that's definitely Malik Willis. Number 5 is the Bengals. I can't really go out O-line, although I would love to give them Jackson Kirkland, and replace Jonah Williams immediately. That's just not going to happen. First of all, he's not even top 5 caliber, and then second of all, he's a left tackle. They're not looking to get him. I have watched some Darian Canard, and I have my feedback on him, but right now, O-line is just not the move, and I'm not doing trade downs because it's just too early to determine that sort of thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give them best player available to their needs, and that is DeMarvin Leal. And this guy, yeah, I mean, he's so athletic, and he can play. I don't like how they're just branding him as an IDL, because I think he can play not exactly off the edge, but not exactly as an interior defensive lineman. And I think his versatility is key to why he is a really worthy of a top 10 pick. Athletic and can stop the run, get after and pressure the quarterback. That's enough for me. The Bengals are having not exactly amazing trouble, but definitely have some trouble stopping the run, so Leal could definitely come in there and stop the run for them. Number 6 is the Atlanta Falcons. Now, I have thought about this pick. I have. And this could definitely be a quarterback, but I'm just not sold on Spencer Rattler. I know I had him as my number 1 overall pick before, but the start of the season hasn't been the best. I will say that immediately. So, the Falcons, in this year's draft as well, pass on a quarterback, but this is for a receiver. And if you have seen my Falcons franchise, our receivers aren't that great. Exclude Larry Fitzgerald, we really wouldn't have a receiving corps. And I think Garrett Wilson could really be a key addition to that receiving corps. And he can run, he's decently fast, he can catch, and that's all I really need. That's all I really need. I think he's the best receiver in this draft. And turn on the tape and you'll see why. Because I think he can definitely prove it. So, Wilson at number 6. The last time they took a receiver at number 6, he turned out to be one of the best receivers, probably of all time, in Julio Jones. So, maybe they have some luck with Garrett Wilson. I don't know. Anyways, Giants at number 7. I think this is Darian Canard. And this guy is listed as an interior offensive lineman, but he's playing tackle currently for Kentucky, and I only see like one problem in him, and that is that he doesn't. Sometimes he just doesn't pick up the right blockers or people to block, and moves ahead, and that could potentially close up running lanes. But other than that, Kennard is he can hold blocks really well, and he's a really powerful guy as well. So the Giants could really use a versatile offensive lineman like Kennard. All right. So at number 8 is the Philadelphia Eagles, and I mean, number 9. Okay, let me quickly explain this pick. I know they have Anthony Harris. I don't care, honestly, because Kyle Hamilton can play in the box in his rookie year, and that would just be pretty huge, for them at the most. Because this guy who is versatile can literally play safety slash linebacker, which is a huge position of need for them, and can go sideline to sideline, ball hawk wide receivers, and have the athleticism to keep up with them. This guy is. I know I said Kayvon Thibodeau is a complete package, but Hamilton is as well. He really is. And then number 9 is the New York Giants, and I think a quarterback is definitely in play here, but I've already expressed my disappointment in this mock draft for the quarterbacks in this class. I have had some good things to say, like sometimes this quarterback class kind of doesn't run out. If you think about it, right? Malik Willis, Matt Corral, Sam Howell, Spencer Rattler. The only problem with them is I don't know if they're gonna go really high in the draft, and that's just the only problem with them. And the Giants, if they stick with Daniel Jones for another year, I don't think it's gonna burn, right? Because you have to be in an amazing situation to just what the hell's going on? All right. You have to be in a really good position to support a new quarterback, and right now they just aren't, and Saquon Barkley especially has been a huge disappointment, but it's not really his fault, really. It's his O-line, and the O-line just cannot block at all. At all. But yeah, so Kyle, nope. I'm done talking about that pick. All right. Whew. I'm a little bit restless today, huh? Number 9, I hate how they put receiver as a need. How many receivers do they need? Kenny Galladay, Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton, Kadarius Toney. I think that's enough. Corey Coleman, I don't know if Dante Pettis is still there. I think that's enough. So, I don't genuinely know what to do here. I could go edge. Because Azeez Ojulari, I mean, come on, he has 3 sacks and a forced fumble. There's a reason why I wanted my Ravens to draft him. Of course, they didn't, so, well, that sucks, right? But I think, fine, the best move is just quarterback, because since I'm not doing trades, I just have to go quarterback, and I think Matt Corral is certainly a pick that Dave Gettleman would like. I don't know why. I just see him in a Giants uniform, and I can envision it. Maybe it's because Ole Miss wears red and blue as well, but it's mainly because his athleticism could really inspire some NFL GMs to take him a bit earlier than he should be taken. But I think he's better than Spencer Rattler in consistency, but sometimes he just has pretty bad throws. So, but Matt Corral at number 9, not a bad pick at all. And then number 10 is the Washington football team. This is a team that needs to invest high in a quarterback because Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's injured. Taylor Heineke is a pretty good backup though. So right now he's good, but for the future, I just don't see him captaining that team anymore. So this is where Spencer Rattler will go off the board. It feels like I've been trashing him the entire video, but I like Spencer Rattler. It's just huge consistency issues, and he needs to start off the season better than he is. Number 11, Minnesota Vikings, and I think this is where the first corner goes off the board, and I think that's Andrew Booth Jr. I lied, this is actually the second corner, but Andrew Booth Jr. can tackle and can do both coverages. And there's a reason why they have him listed over Kaiir Elam, Ahmad Garner, Trent McDuffie, guys like that who are also really good players. This guy is just ferocious, can tackle, and can cover. That's all you want in a corner, and obviously they don't have the best depth at that position. So Booth can definitely be a really good player. Number 12 is the Carolina Panthers. Alright, number 12. I think this is going to be where Jackson Kirkland goes off the board. I think I see a lot of potential in this guy. I've said this guy for every player. So, this player, I see a lot of potential in Jackson Kirkland. And he's just a really good pass protector and really reliable. And Panthers have had some O-line issues on the left side. So, Kirkland can definitely come in, step up, and be that huge role on that offensive line. Number 13 is the Indianapolis Colts. I think this is where another receiver goes, and this is Chris Olave. He's a number 1 already in Ohio State, and he can run pretty decent routes, I would say. And so the Colts should be pretty happy to get a player like Olave to their receiving core, in my opinion. Number 14 is the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I think this is where Drake Jackson could go. But Aiden Hutchinson has actually been really good this year. Alright, this is an interesting one. Is it Aiden Hutchinson or Drake Jackson? I think it has to be Aiden. Drake just doesn't have enough power off the line and doesn't really put in that much effort, right? He can drop back into coverage. He's a really good athlete, but in the end, athleticism has to come with technique as well. You look at guys like Evan Neal, Kayvon Thibodeau, right? Kyle Hamilton. These guys are pretty athletic, but talent also has to step in as well. And Drake Jackson, the technique and strength of him off the line just doesn't really... It just doesn't really make me feel that good about him as a player. So, Aiden Hutchinson, I think, is better as a power rusher in general. Number 15, Los Angeles Chargers. And this is Kenyon Green. He's playing right tackle for Texas A&M this year, and he's a pretty good player. So, the Chargers could definitely use his versatility in the interior of that offensive line. Number 16. This is the Raiders, and I think they could invest in a corner, such as Kaiir Elam, Ahmad Garner, Trent McDuffie. But this is the Raiders, so we're just gonna we're gonna take Dante Stills out of West Virginia, right? No, we're not gonna do that. But that's probably what the Raiders do. Like, they go onto the draft network, scroll all the way down. This guy's the 400th ranked player. Let's take him. I'm sorry for bullying you, but still, it's really annoying sometimes. But I think corner is just a huge need for them. And if you want a guy that the Raiders kind of approach, I think that's Kaiir Elam or Ahmad Garner, because these guys are pretty physical guys. And I think Ahmad Garner is just a better player. He can cover, but sometimes a little bit too grabby. That's all. But Ahmad Garner, I really, really like him. Also a bit skinny. Like, if you see him on the field, you'll probably recognize him. He wears number 1. He's 188 pounds. Doesn't have, much mass, but he's a really good player. And I think the Raiders could definitely use him. Number 17 is the New England Patriots. This is Treylon Burks. John Metchi's production has been limited. So I'm just going to leave him on the board for now. But Treylon Burks has been the lead receiver in Arkansas, and he's been making some ESPN storylines, so we know he's good. So Treylon Burks, I really like him as a player, and I think the Patriots could definitely use him. a lot. Nelson Aguilar, fine. Kendrick Bourne, fine. Jacoby Myers, I like actually, but I think Burks is just a player that they could use, is all. That's all. Steelers at number 18, they need a quarterback so bad. Sam Howell, he's off the board now. Did I say Sam Howell? I'm sorry, Sam Howell. Sam Howell. He's off the board now. I knew he was gonna do bad from the moment I found out that he had so many weapons at North Carolina. You know, you look at Javonte Williams, Michael Carter, Diami Brown, Daz Newsome. That was weird. Okay, you didn't hear that. Obviously he's doing good. He has like one of the best receiving cores in college football, and probably the best running offense or running duo at least. So, of course he'll do good, right? So Howell goes at number 18. Just he doesn't have enough weapons. He went from having all the weapons in the world to having none in like 1 year. So maybe that's a little bit concerning for me. But if he's that good, if he's as good as advertised by the commentators, he should be a pretty good player. Number 19 is the Denver Broncos, and I think this is George Karlaftis. And this may be a weird pick to some of you. This guy is injury. Nope. No. He is injury prone. Not this guy. He is injury prone. But he's really talented as well. And Von Miller is not getting any younger. While he may be a pretty good player in general, right? We can all agree that he's one of the best pass rushers of this decade, right? And one of the best picks in Broncos history. But Karlaftis can come in and step in straight in that role, or he can wait for a year and then just bounce in with Bradley Chubb and then rush the passer. He's a big playmaker on the defensive side of the ball, and I think the Broncos could really use him. All right, I have to stop saying some things like this guy and this team could really use this. If I'm giving a player to this team, they obviously can use him. All right, so you get the picture. Number 20 is the New Orleans Saints. This could definitely be a corner, and I think it definitely it could be because corner was they said that they wanted to. Sean Payton said that he wants to address corner, right? But they also kind of badly need a receiver. And I'm going to go a little bit off the board here, but this is also another surprising pick. I'm going to go Johan Dodson out of Penn State. Now, I think this is the biggest a high ceiling. He's a guy who's going to get open, catch the ball, go for more yards, right? That's pretty much it. And he's nothing impressive. Like, there's nothing that he does that no other receiver can do. Like, if you look at last year's draft, right? Top 3 receivers taken in the top 10, all of them. Jamar Chase, what did he have? He had decent athleticism, and he could go up and catch the football. High point the ball, right? Now, Jalen Waddle, he's extremely fast and can run routes pretty well, and he could catch. And I thought he was the complete package at receiver, and that's why I thought he was the best receiver in the draft, and that is also why the Dolphins thought he was the best receiver in the draft. And then Devontae Smith, he probably had the best hands. Like, he was probably the most reliable receiver out of the top 3 drafted in the top 10. Right? Johan Dodson, he's not really like any of those guys. He's just get open, throw me the ball, I'll catch it, I'll go for yards. That's it, right? But while that may not be exciting, that's all the Saints need to do. Like, if you I'm not going to give John Metchi at all to the Saints. John Metchi just cannot catch the ball in traffic very well. And with a guy like Jameis Winston, we know he's going to be just throwing the ball out there sometimes. He's not like a Marquez Callaway who's going to come up with a stellar touchdown in the end zone. That was redundant, but yeah, so John Metchi's not going here. George Pickens has to recover from a huge injury, so Johan Dodson's the next best option, in my opinion. 21 is the Tennessee Titans. In my opinion, this has to be a corner because Caleb Farley hasn't played a freaking snap there. And I think this is Trent McDuffie because he can tackle. That has to stop. It has to stop. But Trent McDuffie, I see him as a guy who can do it all. And that's what I like it. I like him in this situation. 22, Dallas Cowboys. And honestly, I don't know what to do here. I genuinely don't. I think Drake Jackson. Yeah, I think Drake Jackson then. Or Myjai Sanders. I think Myjai Sanders is actually more valuable than Jackson, so he's falling. But Myjai Sanders, I think, is just better. He knows how to get off contact, while Drake Jackson just stays on for the entire play and doesn't really go anywhere. And that's just not very good. Myjai Sanders knows how to get off blocks. Only thing, not very strong. Like, at all. Sometimes he'll just get blown up by heavier offensive linemen. And in the league, he may struggle. So, if you see Myjai Sanders get drafted in the first round, but he struggles, there's a reason why. Because he's not strong enough to face those amazing big tackles. Right? So, that's the only flaw with him. But the Cowboys, they declined Leighton Vander Esch's fifth-year option. So, Myjai Sanders could definitely be an option if Leighton Vander Esch ever departs. So, yeah. 23 Arizona Cardinals. This is Kaiir Elam. He's a physical guy and can cover. That's all you want. 24 is the New York Jets. And I think this is where Drake Jackson goes off the board. If you see all of those earlier mock drafts, you would see Drake Jackson going at like 6 to the Jets, right? Now, not so much. Like, I just don't really like Jackson so much anymore. Like, when I heard of him first, I thought he was this athletic freak who could get after the quarterback very consistently. But when I saw the film, when I turned on the film, it just wasn't that impressive is all. 25 is the Green Bay Packers, and I think this is Tyler Linderbaum. This guy, nope. I have to stop saying that. Linderbaum can really help the Packers in the running game, especially Aaron Jones. One of the best running backs in football right now, because he can practically do it all. Receive out of the backfield, run up the middle. He can really do it all. And Linderbaum is just a really good player. I like him at Iowa, and they lost Corey Linsley, so they could definitely use him to just play as a center. 26, Cleveland Browns. You may have seen George Pickens mock to them. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do John Metchi either. And I think Jordan Davis. I saw this dude. I'm getting better. And there's this one move that he does where he tries to reach in between interior offensive linemen and just push them off. And he just stops the run really well. Doesn't really get after the quarterback. Even though that Georgia, I think they run a 4-3. He's more of a nose tackle, really, but I think the Browns could definitely fit him into their game. And then number 27, I still think the Ravens could use a pass rusher, and that's Adam Anderson out of Georgia. You may have not heard of this guy very much, but this guy's a sack monster. I think he has like 3-4 sacks. And, I mean, he looks really shiny in here as well, so he must be valuable. But anyways, Adam Anderson can just really help out our team. Look at Odafe Owe. He's been fine. Congrats to him on getting the sack and stopping the run pretty well. But Adam can get after the quarterback. Now, what I've seen is I started to get a bit frustrated when I was watching the Georgia defense tape that I couldn't even find him. I was like, where the hell is this guy? Adam Anderson. Where is number 19? And now, when I found him, he was actually really impactful. But He's not an every down guy. And that's exactly what the Ravens need, right? An every down guy. But there's not... I just don't really want to go to Zach Harrison or anyone like that. So I'm going to stick with Adam Anderson for now. 28, Buffalo Bills. I don't know. I I think maybe Seven Banks. No. Darian Canard. Sorry. This guy was really good at Clemson. 3 straight Georgia defenders go in a row, but Darian Canard was really good at Clemson, and hopefully he can do good at Georgia. I honestly do wish well for him, but he shouldn't have been found with marijuana. I mean, that was a huge mistake from Darian, but 28, no, go in the 2021 NFL draft anyway, so this is fine. 29, this is John Metchi. You're trying to get Tua Tagovailoa back to Alabama, right? And his receivers, they haven't been that good. I mean, I love Jalen Waddle, and he's been pretty good. I have him on my fantasy team for a reason. But Metchi can run routes and can block and especially run deep. And that's just huge for the Dolphins. And can bring back Tua Tagovailoa memories. He was a beast. Number 30, this is Brandon Smith. This is a really bad linebacker class. As you can see, the first linebacker went at 30 for me. Brandon Smith just tries to act like a beast at all times. And he's not exactly Micah Parsons, but somewhat like it, right? He knows where to go, and he's really athletic. And the Lions could definitely use a linebacker who is really versatile and can play all kind of linebacker roles. So Brandon Smith is the guy for the Lions. Number 31, I just watched Nick Bonitto's tape, and yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. He knows how to get after the quarterback, get after it immediately, and the Chiefs could. What's a synonym for? Synonym. What am I? Come on, synonym, dude. Synonym. What's a synonym for the Chiefs could really use? Utilize. There we go. The Chiefs could utilize him in a really good way. That didn't sound right, but we'll take it. And then number 32, Tampa Bay Buccaneers to end off this one. I think this is Zion Nelson. And he's a good blindside protector, and I don't really like Donovan Smith. So, yeah, so Zion Nelson can immediately come and start at left tackle for them. But that is going to do it for me, guys. And, of course, this is still really early in the season. We don't have the draft for... Hold on, let me count. Hold on. About 6 to 7 months. So we're a long way from the draft. So a lot of these players could not even be close to this range. But that's how mine went. We'll title it Shem 21 2.0. There you go. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.